I typically showcase intricate habitats that are complex and have a lot of moving parts along the way. But not everything always has to be a complicated project. In fact, when raising a young animal, a simple, functional enclosure is often the best choice for monitoring growth and behavior. The problem? Most of them are downright ugly in a home. Today, I'm building a simple, effective grow-out enclosure for my green tree python, one that's both practical and display-worthy. The main piece is a shoe display case from Amazon. I'll have everything linked below. They come flat packed, mine came in a pack of 6. They're super simple to put together. Everything is a modular locking system, so no tools are required. This is shown in real time with no cuts, just to prove how easy it is. I just take the base and snap one of the sides into the slot. There's a certain direction it needs to be facing, so watch out for that. Then, I take the back of the base, bend it upward, and snap it into the side that I just placed. Now I take the other side piece and snap that into the base. Again, taking the rear panel of the base and snapping it into place. Finally, the top goes on, lining it up with the side slots and bending the rear panel down, snapping everything into place. The foundation is set. From there, I just snap the door piece onto the opening and the box is complete. An elegant looking display case in less than a minute. It's crazy simple. So why choose this over a standard tub setup? It offers the same functionality as a tub, but with a much cleaner look. It holds humidity and temperature extremely well, which is the most important aspect. But it also allows for easy viewing through a clear pane without having to remove a lid. And with the front opening design, maintenance and feeding is much easier. It measures about 13 inches wide, 11 inches deep, and 7.5 inches tall, giving our buddy room to move around without being too nervous. To make this setup arboreal friendly, I need Perches. A simple solution: household clothing hangers, cut to size to match the interior dimensions of the enclosure. But they will need something to sit on. That's where zip tie mounts come in. I took a blade and notched out one side of the mount, then peeled the sticky cover off and placed it inside the enclosure, making sure the notch side faces up. Doing the same thing on the other side, trying to keep it parallel, I create anchor points for the perches. Now, I just place the cut hanger onto the anchors. A snug fit, but I noticed a small issue. The perches had a tendency to roll. A few dabs of super glue gel will act as a blocking mechanism for this roll. Spraying with water helps the glue set and keep their shape. While that dried overnight, I placed zip tie mounts for a second perch a little lower. Since this case wasn't designed to house animals, a few modifications are necessary. The rear panel has a potential gap where the top and bottom meet. A snake could easily push through and escape. There's a very simple fix to this. Tape. The rear won't be visible, so it doesn't need to be perfect, but I need to make sure the gap is closed. I cut a piece of window screen for the biggest issue, the large thumb hole for opening the door. I put down a few dabs of super glue gel and placed the screen on top. I used a dowel rod to press the screen into the glue since the plastic is recessed here. Then I sprayed it with water to help it set while pressing the screen into the glue even more. I added another layer of glue on top just to make sure the screen was firmly sandwiched in between the glue so there was no way it could be ripped off. I then glued a 2-inch mending plate on the top, making sure that one of the holes was fully exposed over the door. While I waited for that to dry, I added the perches in. I think it looks pretty good, and I stumbled upon a happy accident. By placing a darker perch in the back, I've created a sense of perceived depth in the enclosure. Pretty cool, huh? Now that the glue on the mending plates is dry, I can show you what it's used for. I slide some N4 bolts in the hole. This is my makeshift lock. The magnets on here are probably strong enough as it stands, but I like to be overly cautious when dealing with animals. So now if the snake somehow forces the magnets apart, the door still can't open because the bolts are in the way. I can easily slide the bolts out when I need to open the enclosure and put them back in when I'm done to lock it. Very subtle, yet very effective. To establish a proper heat gradient, I attached a heating pad to one side of the enclosure. I'll move the display into place for this part. Never use any heating mechanism without a thermostat. This will regulate the heat, making sure the snake doesn't get cooked. I threaded a thermostat probe through one of the ventilation holes on the side of the heat mat. This ensures accurate temperature control. Then set the thermostat to 83 degrees. For substrate, I'm keeping it simple. Paper towels for easy cleaning and sanitation. A water bowl goes in, along with a thermometer-hygrometer combo to monitor conditions. I give everything a light mist to raise humidity before introducing the inhabitant. This is my Maniquari Cyclops Mountain Cross green tree python. I'm not sure if it's a boy or a girl yet, so I'm still working on a name. Let's get them into the new digs. Slowly, it slithered in and started to check things out. I secured the door and gave it time to settle in. A few risers in the front improved my viewing angle from the couch, but one thing still bothered me: the visible glue from the mesh. I couldn't stand it. A simple fix though: a strip of black tape cut to size, covering the adhesive for a clean finish. Now, with everything in place, my green tree python has a secure, visually appealing enclosure, blending all the benefits of a tub system with the aesthetics of a proper display on a small scale. Practical, stylish, and most importantly, functional. As you can see, about 2 weeks after moving in, we have a perfect shed. As you saw in my previous video, I had to move abruptly. This allowed me the opportunity to place this enclosure in a much more favorable spot, right on top of Blaze's cage. I couldn't do this in my last apartment because the greenhouse was in an east-facing window that could cause the snake to overheat. But with this new west-facing window, not as much sun comes through, so the temperatures don't swing as much. A perfect spot to live its best life up in the canopy of the jungle. And that's it, a grow-out habitat that not only meets the needs of the animal, but also looks good in a home. See you next time.